You're listening to Buy My Merch, a Heads on TV podcast. My name is Marilyn. I'm a musician, and I've been working in digital marketing in the entertainment industry for a decade. I started this podcast as a way to ask artists what it really takes in the modern music industry to make it on your own. Asking questions like, how did you get through it when no one would show up to your shows? Or how did you survive financially when you were selling merch out of the trunk of your car? Welcome to the music industry conversation you've been looking for. Welcome to season 2 of the Buy My Merch podcast. That feels so good to say. As you probably heard from our fancy new intro, my name is Marilyn. I'm a musician, and I've also worked professionally in the music industry for over a decade now. I think this is the first year that I can say that. Last season on this podcast, I was really just testing out an idea. All I really had was some basic podcast equipment and my connections to a bunch of artists in LA. I wanted to see if podcasting was something that I enjoyed, if this was going to be something that I could build beyond just one season. And honestly, I really fell in love with it. The point is to show you as an aspiring creative that there are so many doors that you can use to break into the industry. And most importantly, you can tailor that path to be exactly what you want, to help you get to your goals on your own terms. In today's episode, I catch up with DJ, vocalist, and songwriter Kaleena Zanders. You've heard her incredible voice on tracks with artists like Chris Lake and AC Slater. She also lent her vocals to the hit track Rhythm is a Dancer with Dropgun and Breathe Carolina, which now has over 50 million streams on Spotify, no big deal. She also just recently signed with Insomniac, which means she's in that transition from independent artist to major label artist. So if you're an artist who's interested in the dance EDM space or even learning more about top lining, this is definitely going to be the episode for you. Also, Kaleena's new EP Patchwork is out now. So that's your homework after this episode. Definitely go give it a listen. And now I give you my conversation with Kaleena Zanders. Start off by talking about your journey. You have a seriously cool journey, featured vocals all the way through to production, DJing. Walk us through that timeline, where it begins and how you get to where you are now.
Way back, I was in musical theater when I was a kid, but whatever. I didn't like that.
Do you remember any musicals?
I was in Annie and I was in Around the World in 80 Days, but like I wasn't really into it. I mean, I did it and I did it well, but I was just like, but it makes sense now why I was in it, if that makes sense. Yeah. And then I went to music school here in LA and I quit because I was like, nobody can teach me how to sing. I had all these teachers who were just like, oh, well, how do we teach you? And I was like, I don't know. So I left because it's a lot of money. And then I got into dance music, I think in like 2015. I hadn't really done any kind of dance music, any kind of songs like that. And my friend, I used to work at Trader Joe's, and he was like, hey, like my friend has a dance song. Would you ever do that? And I was like, I don't know. And I did that. And then it like, that song blew up. My first dance song ever blew up.
An accidental path? So you really didn't
accidental.
You didn't feel at the time that you were evolving towards it. It almost like
never
fell into your lap.
Never. Like I would have never thought I was going to, I always imagined myself being like, remember Fifi Dobson?
Do I?
Yeah. Yeah. Or like Lenny Kravitz. That's who I thought I was going to be. Yeah.
What a Fifi Dobson was like. And I remember too, like of the MTV generation growing up before school, those videos. Yeah. And you just idolized,
exactly,
worship this genre at that time.
Yeah.
I love the jump from rock to dance. Do you find now that rock is in your sets in that way?
Oh, I mean, it's in my sets in the way of like the energy. I headbang, I'm like super explosive, very expressive, and I do play like some rock edits too, but like then they're hybrids with like tech house. So it's like tech house. It's like, so TNT, my friend made this amazing edit, Freak On. It's called TNT. You know that I'm TNT. So yeah, that, but dance. And then for EDC, I'm putting in a Rage Against the Machine song.
That was literally gonna be my next question, is putting together a fantastic DJ set from your perspective. What are the must-haves?
The must-haves. Well, most of my songs that I've done over the years, being in dance music, it's just so nice because I finally am able to like press play on my own collection, if that makes sense. So that's been a wonderful gift now that I'm performing a bunch in that space. And then Space Jam like Space Jam, that. And then what else? There's this edit my friend made, Kaya. It's the holla back, ain't no holla back girl, but like it's like banging and like kind of hard.
Where do you pick the song that comes in when you walk onto that stage? Is that the most pivotal one, or is it the one that you leave them with?
So yeah, the intro, those are always so hard, and I still feel like I never know what I'm gonna do. But right now I have this like moody breakdown, and then it goes into that song by I Won't Be One of the Greatest, that is a vow, that's a promise, but like all moody, and then it goes in some hard drop or whatever. But and then sometimes I just sing like, I don't know, it just always changes because I never know like what the person's gonna be playing before. A lot of times I like to scrap and like have silence first, so and so they can get into the mood of what I'm doing. And then the outro is usually like one of my biggest song in dance music, which is California. So I usually leave on something really, really big, or well, actually there's a couple cool songs, but mostly California. Yeah.
How about the gear side of it? How has it started, like from that first set, what your actual deck was to now? How is it built out?
Well, the most interesting thing, or the thing I'm most proud of, is I didn't start DJing until like the pandemic vibes, like, and then like right after, like really, really getting into it. Partly because as a vocalist, you just don't think that that's what you're supposed to do, But then as soon as I make that switch, like I was just obsessive over it, and I had like a little like controller that I practice on, like literally like this big, and then my girlfriend got me like a bigger one, and then I don't know, you just kind of learn on the fly, like when you're in the clubs, because that's huge. It's like this big.
You're learning how it works in the club environment?
Well, previously, yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, and I just said I'm gonna do this, and I did it, and I was doing when I was practicing, I did this like online thing called what's it called? Singer turned DJ. Like I did like little bits online, and everyone's like, yeah. So it's like people were like rooting for me to do it. So it like kept me like practicing and stuff.
If someone was getting started with DJing tomorrow, is there a brand or a certain deck you recommend, or do you just
the Pioneer XDJ 3, that's like the easiest to, it has the most functionality but not too overwhelming, and you can go a long ways. Like you can play that, practice on that, and then go to the club essentially. I'm stuck on the fact that I can just see you in your head in the club being like, just learning like exactly where this one goes. That's how it was. No, seriously. Yeah.
Well, then there's no more excuses for anyone who wants to start. Just get into the club and figure it out the moment it happens.
You just like, I don't know. Also, I'm around the culture a lot, obviously, or just in the culture, always in the clubs and always watching my DJ friends. So I think I had a pretty good like way around it.
I want to ask you too about representation, especially representation in the dance, the EDM space.
Yes.
As a woman in these headlining spaces in a very kind of a male dominated space.
Yes.
What does it mean to you?
Honestly, I get tingles every time I think about that. I get like chills because I know that I am definitely like helping someone see themselves and where they could go, So I just like, I'm even getting emotional right now. It really does make me feel like I'm an inspiration. It's weird because it's like I'm around these dudes so much that they become your brothers, and you kind of don't think about that you're the only one or only couple of girls, especially Black women, gay women. Like there's none of that, So you don't think about it until you like step outside or someone reaches out to you on the internet and they're like, yo, like you're representing this, and you're like, oh, and then you're like, oh my God. And it's a pretty special thing. Part of the reason why I did switch over to DJing is because vocalists get taken advantage of. Sometimes we're not credited. We don't get paid as much. We're never able to make a career off of our own vocals and our own like career or our own like thing. Like for instance, my first track that really propelled, it helped one of the DJs resurface again and help propel another one, and for me, it was me kind of scrambling to find another gig, you know what I mean? Scrambling to, like, these guys, they were like, no diss to them because I love them also, but I just know that that was a struggle. And then it kind of drives you crazy because you see like people putting up their tracks with your voice on them, just things like that. It's always been a struggle in that way. So that's why I switched over to doing DJing. And then as far as being Black, I mean, I don't know. It's just I'm Black, so you just always have some sort of struggle. Like you don't think about it. I don't think about like, oh my God, I'm struggling today because I'm Black. I just like, what next? What's good? All right, just like I'm already ready for war. Like, so I don't really know about that. But and also being a lesbian for me, that has been not a challenge like that people have made challenges for me, but just in my own head. Yeah. And just because of like my upbringing, not being accepted fully in my family at times, like for a long amount of time of like my developmental stage, like that really was a challenge, so then it created a challenge in my brain as, trying to talk to people about it, but it's good now. I'm good now.
Did that club space, did that live show space become just like cathartic and just totally your escape?
Yeah. Ultimately, yes. It made me feel like I can just be myself. And especially when you have such a welcoming community coming and giving you hugs all the time and just saying how great and cool you are. Like, yeah, it's just like, all right, sick. Anything that happened in the past, I'm just like, that doesn't even matter because it was all a part of these moments, leading up. So,
I really appreciate you sharing your perspective on the featured vocalist side.
Mm-hmm.
I did have my suspicion about some of what you said there,
Mm-hmm.
where it's not always this, I'm placed in this incredible song, millions and millions of Spotify streams, and then it's all set for me.
Mm-mm.
It's a different kind of journey.
Oh,
I
yeah.
wanted to talk to you a little bit about it.
Mm-hmm.
With Heads on TV, I do work with artists a lot, and many of them have these questions
Mm-hmm.
about the featured vocalist or like the top lining space.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wanted to ask, first of all, like, where did that first placement come from? How'd you get involved in giving your voice to a track?
Yeah, just simply just my friend. My friend just hit me up and asked me if I wanted to try it out, and the week before I had given up on music because I don't know, you just get tired of the grind of anything. And I was just like, oh, I'm done with this. And then, yeah, he just was like, you should try it. And I tried it. And then after the song blew up, it was still a bit of an adjustment because number one, there's a bunch of like DJs hitting me up to work. I didn't know who they were, and it was just overwhelming because it's like when you have something so successful, you want that to happen again. I was in the studio for that song specifically. And I personally like to go to the studio and have someone record my voice just because it's hard to direct yourself. And then also, although I have recorded my own vocals, but I just never like how they come out.
I think some artists think that taking the top line route is like, oh, I don't have my own music, or I just like to sing. In your case, you have your entire collection of music. How do you differentiate your actual unique sound as an artist against when you have your vocal lent to a song that blows up and it wasn't necessarily just your style?
Well, initially it was a lot of, I don't even think at the time when that happened, I even knew what my sound would be in dance because I was doing rock music and I was doing singer-songwriter stuff, pop,
Yeah.
So I will say though that being on all these different tracks have allowed me to narrow down what I like. And, now I definitely know what I like and what I want in a track for myself. And yeah, but it's been so good, like to kind of go around all the different subgenres of dance.
Is it ever a situation too where you might just be connected to a producer, you give your own vocal and realize they might be able to help you with your own sound?
That's something I'm trying to shift. Like basically like when a producer hits you up, they're only thinking about themselves a lot. They're only thinking like, I need vocalist. and you're like, what's the incentive for me to be on your track? You know what I mean? So I always try to first get on the phone call or FaceTime with whoever is trying to inquire about a vocal. And I then, chat them up and I say, yeah, so like, what's your budget? Like, what do you like? Do you produce for other people? If I'm interested in their productions, of course. So it's a long history of kind of like bad habits that producers have when they're hitting up vocalists, because I think in their mind they automatically think that they're just hitting up some sort of factory, and then they could take the vocal and just go run away with it, you know? So that's kind of something I'm trying to talk about more and help shift so that, you know, producers look at top liners as equal creators.
You know what's crazy is I was going to ask you next, like the advice you'd give artists who want a top line, but I almost would want to leave the floor for you to give advice to producers about how to interact with these top liners. Yeah. What would you say for producers? I actually do get a lot of producers asking me that too, of like, how do I see someone cool on TikTok, I want them to sing for me. Mm-hmm. What would you tell that producer to make sure they're respecting the vocalist? Right. What would you say?
Like usually things start off with a DM because we don't have each other's numbers and whatever. So, you know, if a producer is going to DM someone, they should say something like, hey, I really love your music. I love your style. I really like respect you as from what I've seen or whatever. Mm-hmm. You know, literally like make the person feel like they're a human, you know, and then say like something like, hey, is this the best way to send you music? Or is there a way that we can chat? I have, you know, a couple of songs, or I'm just interested in work. Like you have to like list maybe a couple different like ways you can collaborate, you know, not just like, I have this one track I made last night and then like, yeah, dude, I just thought of you. Like
definition of just coming in hot. Like, hey, this is what I need and I need it now. And it's, what's your name?
Seriously. So, you know, just being the normal, polite, and just coming from a place of respect and respecting people's time.
Do you feel that music, this sort of back and forth collaborations become too transactional? Or do you feel that there's still hope of like these producers taking this advice and it feeling more collaborative again?
Wow. I'm so glad you asked that. I personally, and this is just my own thing, I know a lot of top liners don't do this because, again, like you want to make money and all this stuff, but I mostly only make music if I've met you and if we've like hung out, broed down, we've done something in the community, because it's so easy to connect, you know, with anyone. There's a million dance clubs around. You can go to any club, you can go to a million festivals, especially if you're playing them, like you're always around other, you know, peers and stuff. So if we're friends, we've met, we had a great connection, or if you're willing to get on the phone with me, like, you know, all of that, like that I really do take into consideration. I never send out top lines. I just don't. Like we have to create in the studio together or on a Zoom together or something where we are collaborating like this. Unless, and then there's the time where I am a featured vocalist, but then that means, you know, the price tag is a lot higher. You know what I'm saying? So
it's finding your worth. Petra, for those who can't see, Petra's giving a major +1 to that. Yeah. Knowing your worth. And I'm so glad you gave that perspective, honestly. I felt myself starting to recognize that it's almost less about these artists understanding how to beg or reach out to collaborations. It's that it's time for sort of producers and those much more established in the industry to not necessarily be as sort of predatory or very like that piece of it. I think is where we could see such a major, more positive shift. Yes. And again, because it's just such a volume now of talent. Yes. And I really wanted that opportunity for you to say what you said. Yeah. And you said it so wonderfully too.
Thank you.
I'd love to pivot to social media, actually. Okay. I wanted to ask, it's a two-parter, but I first want to start with how you've used social media to your advantage. So the positives that you've found from using it.
So I actually really liked, and I still like it, I'm just tired now, but I have liked social media for since it came out. Yeah, like I think I was a little resistant right in the beginning, like maybe for a few years, like when Instagram came around, like I was like, whatever. And then not like 2 years later, I just got way into it. And then as I started to build more career stuff and music, like I just had already kind of had a natural, I think it's fun. It's funny to like all the different like ideas you can like put out to people. Like it's just, I don't know. I like it. Yeah. Overall, I am tired, I must say.
The screen fatigue too. Ooh, geez. Do you set aside, are you someone who sets aside time to come up with ideas? Do you film on the fly?
I am very much on the fly. And now though, I'm going to have to start planning out things because I'm trying to balance like studio and then playing a lot and like content. Like even before I got here, I was already gearing up my content to post at 1:00. Like, you know what I mean? So, I think I'm mostly on the fly because I love like just funny ideas.
Do you find that this digital audience that you've built is different from what the live audience experience is like?
Live is a completely different experience. They're experiencing sort of this raw energy, just like right there. Even if something is like not perfect, and maybe something's out of key or whatever, there's still so much in the energy in the live experience that none of it matters. For socials, it has to be super perfect because the audio, like people are only listening and seeing, and they're not there. So I try to take out the moments where I'm like super perfect, and it always translates really well, and the energies are always, cool. But I do know I like, my conversation online is probably a little bit more just like neater, nicer to listen to. I'm like, because I'm like, I'm like, yeah, well, it's like, yeah, I'm like, and not everyone's like, wow, I'm just hearing a yeah, like, and not understanding the context,
Yes. Well, let's imagine a world where there is no social media. I want to ask you, what would your marketing look like if we had none of this at our dispense right now?
Oh, I would be going around in cars that are like, I've thought about this apparently. I'd put like my logos on a car and like some dope ass like pink car, because pink is my favorite color if you can tell. And like just be singing and blasting my music like around everywhere, driving almost like a carnival, or I don't know, just like yeah, like old school like hip hop, like when they're riding around in those like their hydraulics cars like that. I would do that as much as I could.
And a matching pink billboard, like a pink themed billboard somewhere.
Sure, of course, yeah. Or maybe I'd hire my friends to do like little like gatherings, like it's just like little party gatherings, or just like jamming, like creating a vibe, and then people are like hopefully would come over and like, what's going on?
Going back to the beginning a little bit, what are some of your earliest memories of failure in this industry?
Well, okay, so I have a sports background, so like you never fail, first of all. So if something didn't go the way I wanted it to, I usually just like learn from it in some way. Like I don't ever see anything as failing. I really don't. I'm not cheesy. I'm relentless. Some of the folks at like Insomniac, they were kind enough to put me on my first festival at Beyond Wonderland as a DJ. And I knew that at least one of them would show up. And I was hoping they wouldn't, just because I was like, I'm on early. I'm like 2 or something. I'm like, they're not going to show up. Like, I'm just going to play the sound, whatever. And then the main person who like I would want to impress like hard out came. I was early. It was so early too. I couldn't believe it. And then I was playing my set, doing fine, jamming, rocking out. I played one song, and then I went to like play another one, and then the same song like restarted, and I felt a little death inside. You know what I mean? Because he's like, he knows DJing. You know what I mean? And like, but it didn't matter in context because the crowd didn't even notice. They just thought it was just like, run it back. You know what I mean? But I was like, oh my God, he heard that.
And you're still playing EDC.
And I'm still playing EDC.
And life went on.
With the same person who had me on then, he's having me on now. So
life went on.
Yeah, life is totally nice.
When you're out on the road, also, do you have any vocal tips? Is there anything that you're doing to keep that like the voice going?
I have a lot of vocal tips. I never follow them myself, but don't drink that much. Don't drink. If you're a vocalist and you have to do this 24/7, don't drink, as you can hear. Not because I'm drinking, but just like in general, your voice gets used a lot. And then you're always in different environments, and sometimes you're talking louder. I do have like sprays that I use, like singer sprays. I do gargling with salt. Do you know Aluna? Aluna's like, she's an artist in dance music. Amazing, huge artist. She gave me this like warm up like pipe.
Is it a straw?
Yeah, the straw.
I had another artist on that was talking about the straw.
That's really helpful because it's like a nice warm up without being so intrusive and annoying. And so like if you want to do some light things, I got that. Drink tons and tons and tons and tons of water. But yeah, ultimately I would say don't drink. Don't drink and sing. Like don't drink and drive, don't drink and sing.
Don't drink and sing. Everyone write that down.
Yeah.
If you had to go back to the beginning again and learn your craft all over again, where would you get started now?
I would start by following my first dream.
Okay.
And that would be a movie director and an actress.
Let's get some favorite movies. What are all-time favorite or directors?
Oh, School Days.
Okay.
It's a movie musical.
Yeah.
And that was like one of my earliest memories. I was like younger and I remember that. Honestly, I remember a lot of Black directors, Robert Townsend, and I think growing up Black, you just naturally watch a lot of like whatever is promoted to you for as a Black person. Jordan Peele, I love all of his movies, horror movies. So when I was into like Nightmare on Elm Street when I was young, I mean, it's an interesting thing because I did make a little movie musical thing in right after the pandemic. Mm-hmm. It was gonna be my EP. It was kind of like Lemonade vibes, but like from a lesbian perspective. And I made like a proof of concept that I now want to pitch to like streaming services because I got signed also. So working with the label and then trying to, it's like pricey to do, you know, you have to have big budgets to like make those kinds of things. Or, I mean, you do and you don't. It's just when a new relationship with the label, I'm like, I want to make music movies. They're like, okay. So it's just like something I think we have to introduce over time.
You got signed a little bit later into your career.
Mm-hmm.
What were some of the things you noticed that were different or maybe you expected that were a little different?
One thing is that you think that they're signing you for the things you've done, and that isn't necessarily the case, and not in a bad way. It's just like they also have a vision for you as well. And so it takes some time navigating where you guys agree. And I didn't kind of expect that because I was like, all right, I have all these songs. I'm like, okay, we don't like any of them. I was like, sick. All right, cool. So then it's like you have to it kind of rocks your foundation a bit because you have this idea of what you were going to put out. And then they had an idea and then you have to come back to somewhere. And I think, you know, that's hard for me because I'm coming from such an independent place and releasing music how I want to and, you know, any kind of way, any style, whatever. So I think that was the most challenging part is getting both of us to agree on songs that we think would fit each other or fit, you know, obviously they have to make money as well. I mean, you know, profit off of it in some way and build the brand or build my brand. And then also I want to be true to my art. So I think it took like a year for us to get on the same page.
Now that you are working with your label, What is coming up next? We've got EDC this weekend, but what is kind of on the horizon for you?
So I have my EP dropping June. Well, I don't know. Well, it drops June 9th.
Oh, it'll be out.
Yeah.
Okay, well, go stream it then.
Yeah, stream my EP
out
right now. It's called Patchwork.
Amazing.
And it's a collection of songs that, you know, through me and the label that we decided still great, still wonderful songs, but it's definitely like patchwork. It's like a collection of different like vibes and sounds of Kaleena. You know what I mean? I'm actually proud of it because I feel like I finally needed that as an artist. And for people who already know me in the dance scene, they're like, they need something to like latch onto.
How do you tackle festival season also like as a DJ?
You know,
is this a big lineup this summer all the way through or?
So last year I had a little taste of what it would be like to like fly in and out of places, playing a bunch of shows. And this year, because I also got signed to Wasserman, an agency, like at the end of last year.
Yeah.
And now it is really booked, stacked. We're busy. And I think it's going to be a very unique experience, challenging, trying to, I guess, rest in between, create somehow in between and perform. I think the performing part's the easiest part, but it's the creating in between and catching up. Yeah, that's the hard part.
And staying active.
Yeah.
And being on the road.
Yeah. I like that part.
With the set list.
Yeah, and then come with the set list, then just like talking to your bros and your manager interrupting you. It's just like, it's a lot. I have been feeling overwhelmed, but I'm ready to do that. I want to do that.
Well, I can't thank you enough for coming to chat right before EDC. This is not your first EDC. Not
my first EDC, like attending and jumping on people's sets, but it is my first EDC as far as my own set, my own Kaleena Zanders. You know, my first time at EDC, I think that was my first festival too in 2015. And I was performing, you know, my one song, and I'll never forget how that changed my life then. So I can only imagine how it feels now, or it's going to feel, or however, whatever time frame we're in right now.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I just feel like it's a very like cyclic like synergy or whatever, you know.
What's the community like in the EDC space?
Very welcoming, super smiley, like hugs, love, you know, vibes, like and then like kind of crazy too. It's just a huge festival and there's lots of people running around and, you know, no clothes, and then we're just like, it's amazing. Honestly, it's amazing. And there's a lot of lights and a lot of pretty stuff to look at.
I cannot wait to see how it goes. It's gonna be incredible. Hey everybody, Marilyn here. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Buy My Merch podcast. Did you know that you can book a one-on-one session with me to help plan your next big music industry move? Heads on TV's Sessions program positions me as your in-between manager. You know, because you're not quite ready for a full-time manager yet, but you are looking for someone you can regularly bounce ideas off of. Together, we'll work on things like release strategies, TikTok ideas, and, of course, building out your artist universe. And our first session together is always free. You can learn more about these sessions, including pricing and even my credentials in the music industry, at headson.tv/sessions. That's headson.tv/sessions.